Hello, everybody. Welcome to week 2. And this week, we get to talk about ethics and we get to talk about laws and regulations and how important both of these will be for when you are starting up your business. It is very, very important. But before we go into week 2, let's go over to Chef John and see how everybody did for week 1.
There we go. Week 1. In general, it looked really good. I saw a lot of good thought put into the SWOT analysis in particular, which I loved. Some really fun mission statements and great research done in the demographics box. That being said, there were some common stumbling blocks across a lot of assignments, one of which was that demographics box. You definitely want to pull those specific numbers from that census website or another reliable source. And if you're going to use another source, just let me know where you're grabbing that information from. Another one that I saw was a lot of people missed that second page with that concept summary and the SWOT analysis. That concept summary is super important. Like this week on our week 2 assignment, you're going to need that concept summary, the 1 to 3 sentences with all that wonderful information, your business name, location, hours of operation, days of operation. I'm going to be looking for that every single week. So you want to make sure to write that while you've got all that information on that first page, and then you can just copy and paste that into every assignment, and that's 15 points on almost every assignment in this course. So definitely not something you're going to want to miss. If you did make one of those errors and need to make some corrections, just make those corrections and then head into that week 1 assignment page. You might have to click back into week 1 to get to that week 1 assignment page, and then click edit submission and submit, and I'll be able to see I need to regrade it. If you don't go through the system like that, if you just email me and say, hey, I updated it, it might not. I really need you to go through that assignment page. You have until Tuesday night at 11:59 p.m. to do those resubmits, so you still have time, assuming you get your assignment in before midnight tonight. Once the assignment closes at midnight tonight, if you haven't already gotten your assignment in, that's when you're going to want to use that makeup area. But if you've already submitted it before then, I can grade you out of 100 if you got it in before Tuesday night at 11:59, or out of 85 with that late penalty if you get it in during that late period.
And remember, get it done now. All of these assignments go in order. So it really helps and it builds each week, and it helps with this foundation that we are creating for your business, for your concept. So get them done, and that way, get it done as soon as you can. Don't wait until week 5, because remember, makeup assignments close at the end of week 5, but don't wait, because all of these assignments build. So do not wait, right? And I'm going to pop up real quick our page right here. Remember, we have that delightful checklist for you over here, this little blue tab. Remember, if you click on that, you will see my information and Chef Jonathan's information right here. Remember, the best way to get a hold of Chef Jonathan is that little send a message link right here, and this is a text-only number. So if you try to call it, I will not get it. You need to, this is text only. If you want to call, use the 720 number. And once again, the makeup assignments are right down here, but get them in tonight. Get it in, get those late points. Save these for that just in case, oh no, something happened. Get your assignments done now, right? And then we get to talk about the awesomeness that is ethics. So what is ethics in your mind? What do you guys think? What are ethics? Anybody? Integrity, Maurice says. Samantha?
Your values.
Your values.
Morals.
Morals. Yeah, right? Because it's that guideline. It tells you what is right and what is wrong. And we are in an industry that has been at this debate for quite some time. Because is that going to be, as I said in that beginning video feedback for you guys on the main page, is that do you care if that zucchini has GMOs and it's non-organic, picked by illegal immigrant workers, or do you just need a zucchini? These are things that you're going to want to figure out so you can have it for your business. You're going to be able to build your culture and your core values off of what you think is important, what your ethics are. So remember, those core values, that's part of the ethics. That's the beliefs that are going to guide your business, your culture. And it's up to you to decide what you want your business to be all about. Do you want it to be all farm to table and you care that it's got to be 100% organic, GMO free, or do you want to provide a fast, cheaper option, family friendly atmosphere for people? This is where you get to decide, and this will help you build the environment that your business is going to be. What type of decor you're going to do. Are you going to be farm to table organic? Then I'm going to guess that you're going to try to use sustainable furniture in your establishment if you're going to do that. And it can go all the way down to the nitty gritty, to using like recycled paper and recycled cups and all that kind of stuff. So that's where it's really good to know what you want your core values to be. And the corporate social responsibility, these are the CSRs. These are what you use to decide what you want to focus on to make your world a better place. And I have here, I'm going to go to the next slide real quick. These are some core values and response in the corporate social responsibilities for a couple of different places. This one's McDonald's. McDonald's, how many people knew that McDonald's had a corporate social responsibility policy? Did you guys know that? That McDonald's had one?
No, I had no clue they had one.
Yeah. But even McDonald's has one. So that's where, that's why I like to bring it up, because if McDonald's has one, this is where you should consider having something. What do you believe in? And it doesn't have to be only just about the environment. If you care about feeding the homeless population, you can have your values be based on feeding the homeless population, or helping students and kids read, or whatever you want it to be that you find important. This is where you get to have these guidelines in place. And this can help you decide the type of nonprofits you want to actually support. Do you want to support that Little League team, or do you want to support United Way or another nonprofit that's important to you? You can put this into your organization. And New Belgium is one that really goes all in for their corporate social responsibilities and sustainability practices. And they are local to Fort Collins. Chef Jonathan and I know about them very well. So I wanted to show you what a smaller company, and they're actually growing now. Way back when they would have meetings at my B&B, at the B&B, they would all like travel together in one van. Like it was kind of like a clown car. They would all like jump out. And there was just like, like 10 of them. So it's crazy to see how big it is now, because I remember when they started and they made this be what they wanted their business to be all about, which helped them determine the type of employees they wanted to have in their establishment. Am I right, Jeff?
Absolutely. And actually, do you think you could pull that up again?
Yeah, I can.
One of my favorite ones that they really pursue is that number 6, cultivating potential through learning, high involvement culture, and the pursuit of opportunities. They really do approach this very proactively. They have their employees go check out other places to learn about the industry. They have classes there that bring the community in. They really look to promote from within. There's a lot that they do in terms of taking care of their employees and helping them to achieve their goals as well as the company's goals. So it doesn't have to all be external either. You can talk about your staff. You can talk about your internal things here as well.
Yeah, and they're actually 100% employee owned. So they decided that it was important that if you worked for the company for a year, you had that ability to own this company. So it is 100% employee owned. And those are the type of beliefs and values that they really held dear, because they really wanted everybody to feel like they were owners, that they had ownership in this. Because if they felt like they had ownership, then they would believe in the company as much as the founders did. And so that is where understanding what you find important, what's going to be important for you, will help you come up with your list of what you want your business to be all about. And then if we go back, if I can go back, I have here a couple of different websites that you guys can just check out if you want to, where there's something called a B Corporation. And a B Corporation is a certification that you can get. Now, you don't have to do it, but if you felt like it, that has Ben & Jerry's, Kickstarter, New Belgium, and it's just a way that you can be a part of this corporation and be certified as a corporation, because you are doing the most that you can to really make the world a better place. And so this is what a good chunk of businesses around the world have been, be certified. And it's just that, let's make this world better. And it's an organization that you can have for your business if you want to. If you don't, that is okay. Another way to figure out what's actually happening is this website right here, where they actually report on where everybody is doing throughout the world to help with sustainable measures and the environments and all of that kind of stuff. So this is another website for you guys to check out if you are interested, if you wanted to know more. And I just ran through all that, didn't I? And then this one is one that's like kind of like a online magazine, and it goes over the different things for making a better world. And they have a whole food and beverage area, and it talks about the troubles with the bees and GMOs and washing your foods, and like food recalls on the rise and all that kind of stuff. So if you felt like looking more into it, those are there for you to check out. Does anybody have any questions about that right now? Anybody? Nobody? Do
So is
you?
that like a requirement that we have to have for our assignment? Because
No.
Okay.
No, but it's a good thing to know for your business.
Yeah, but I currently don't intend to have my own place. You know,
Well, but if you're a
it's
manager,
good information to know.
yeah, it's especially if you're a manager, you're going to walk in and you're going to want to know what you want if you really want to work at that place. Do you believe in what they believe in, or do you think you'll feel out of place?
Yeah,
'Cause
usually it takes a week or so to figure that out really quick.
Yeah, and that's where you can go on and see what they're all about and see if you really want to be a part of it. If you think that's a really cool culture, or if you're like, no, this culture isn't for me, I'm gonna try working elsewhere. And it's a great way to figure it out quick. And especially as a manager, you have to uphold these core values.
Exactly.
Yeah, so that's where it's important to know this stuff. Especially because, like I always say, I'm not training line cooks. I'm training managers and business owners. Am I right, Chef?
Okay, thank you.
Yeah, no problem. And then, but of course, as you guys know, right, laws and ethics are different. Am I right? Oh, Gertrude, did you have a question?
I just got a job and they don't have a manager, and it's crazy at that place. There's no restaurant manager, or even there's no manager. There's no one is managing. They're just cooks, and the owner, I don't think he even has culinary school background. So I was like, okay, so what did you really hire me to do here? Because I felt really out of place. Like, you go into the working, every stuff arranged in a oh my gosh, you go and fix, and the guy who claims to be the manager, he comes and says, I put things where I can reach them. I'm like, chicken. Oh my gosh, it was crazy. I just worked there 2 days and I'm thinking I'm not going back. So what do you do in such a place when you feel like out of place and like, okay, what am I gonna do? Because the people, they don't have the knowledge at all.
And this is where it's important to know, like, always take the good and the bad, because you can now decide, like, okay, I see how they're managing things, and you may like bits of it and you may not like any of it, and now you know what to do for your place and what type of manager you want to be. So it's really a good way to figure out, what works and see what doesn't work, and kind of have that take that outside perspective and internalize it to see, like, well, what would I do if I was the manager? What would I change? What am I going to do to make this better and make it better for my employees? Because there are some manager, and that's a hard transition too, to become a manager, going from an hourly position to becoming a manager, being a leader. That can be tricky because people tend to fall back into their hourly position and just want to work on the line and not actually do what they're supposed to do and manage. And then that's how you get micromanagers, which I know Chef Jonathan has dealt with also. Am I right, Chef?
You are. So think all the way back to 125 or 127 when we talked about those different management styles. Remember that autocratic and democratic. And so you're seeing something from the sounds of it that's kind of more on that democratic side, where there's no real clear leadership and everybody is trying to have a say in everything. So you can see now why that can be really problematic if you're bringing someone new into that environment, because there is no direction, there is no leadership. So if you don't have a decade of working side by side with these people, it's going to be really hard to figure it out. So I've got a lot of experience in seeing management styles that I'm not a huge fan of. And that has definitely helped me to develop my own management style.
I loved how you put that. That was fantastic, Chef. That was awesome. Yes, that was like the most politician way to say that. I'm like, you should run for office with that.
So yeah, it's just, I've learned so much from not only the good, but the bad. I've learned some wonderful, wonderful things in every kitchen that I've ever been in, and even in jobs that weren't commercial kitchens. I've been able to bring those into the food service industry, the skills and techniques that I see, whether it's managing a staff or financials or customer service, or there's so many things you can learn, and you can really start to hone in on where you thrive, and you can start to look for that specifically, and see how that environment really fits in with you a lot better.
And that helps too, because now you can go in, you know what's up, Gertrude. You can go in, and people watching Live Session Archive, you know what's up. This is a great opportunity for you to move up fast, right? Because you're getting that education, you have that knowledge, and now you can use it and rise up in the ranks pretty quickly. So, but as a manager, you also need to know all the laws and regulations that go with managing a place, because there are many, especially in the food service industry. That's why it's so important to do the research. Do the research, because regulations are different everywhere. Chef Jonathan, where do you live right now?
I live in Omaha, Nebraska.
And I am in Colorado. And we have different labor laws. For example, for salary employees, the people who make under $55,000, as a salary employee in Colorado, you have to pay them overtime. Do you get paid overtime in Nebraska?
I sure don't. I had a manager who really felt I should be working about 90 hours a week. Not 1 minute of overtime.
Not cool. But this is where it's important to know your laws and regulations. And this is also a key time to really start to communicate with your community. Talk to people around you in the business world, and they will help you. Say, I'm a student at this super awesome school, and I'm curious about what it takes to open a food truck, a catering business. Talk to the health department, talk to your fire department, talk to the Better Business Bureau and the Chambers of Commerce and the Better Business Association, whatever you have in your area, and they will be able to guide you in that right direction. What else will be able to guide you in this direction for all the different laws and regulations is this awesome assignment that is for this week. It is so important to know all of these items. I cannot stress it enough, because as a general manager, executive chef, I had to know this stuff. It wasn't my business, but I certainly had to know how to get a liquor license. And I had to know my health department standards and seller's permits and all this type of stuff that you guys are going to be looking up this week. So we are going to go over how to find that information for you right now, because I know it can be really tricky, and there are definitely websites that are out there who will say, oh, you've Googled this, you Google it, and they'll say like, oh yeah, click here and you can get this done. And that company will charge you for something that you could potentially do for free, which is why it's important to get out in your community now, start talking to people and find out how they're doing. And this is another key time to talk about when we say like, know your competition. Like, really get to know your competition. And we say competition, but it doesn't have to be a bad thing. Like, I was friends with people who were my competitors. We would hang out. I would find out, like, hey, how are you guys doing? Are you busy? Like, is your place booked? If not, let me know, and I can, like, if people call up and ask for a place to stay, I can totally move them over, like move them to you if I'm totally full. Like, so this is where it's good to know that type of thing. Am I right, Chef?
You are. One of my favorite life lessons happened during my externship when I graduated from Escoffier. And there was this enormous amount of pressure and competition in this small city in Napa Valley. And I will never forget, every single day, at least once a shift, somebody came knocking on that back door, and the executive chef goes back and somebody says, "Hey, we just ran out of chives. Do you have any?" He's like, "Oh yeah, sure, here you go, here's half a case." And this is the people like right next door competition. These are seriously competitive people who are a community and wanting to help each other out and help each other to be successful and be the best that everybody in the area can be. So competition can be a really cool and wonderful thing.
It can be. And they can also help guide you, and they can say, oh yeah, no, it took like 3 months for us to get the zoning permit to get my sign. Like, they can go over all that stuff with you. But a great base now and foundation is going to be this assignment that we're going to go over right now. Remember, it's due on Tuesday at 11:59 p.m., but we're talking about it now. So get out your pad of paper, get going. Am I right, Chef Jonathan?
You are.
And as always, we have the slides will be up on the main page, but Chef Jonathan's going to pull up the assignment right now for you guys.
All right, so first thing I want you to do once you download this template is come up to the top here and copy and paste that quick 1 to 3 sentence concept summary from your week 1 assignment right at the top here. So big important thing, because I will have no idea if your labor laws are correct, if your minimum wage is correct, if I don't know where you are. So super important that I have that concept summary right at the top. Then, a couple of things to think about with this particular assignment. Over here on the left, this is the stuff that you're going to be looking up. Food handler's card, food manager certification, liquor licenses, labor laws, fire inspection, and seller's permit. So you've got those 5 things to look into for this week. And then as you're doing your research, when you find the answers you're looking for, go up to the top of the page, copy that website, and then come into this middle column and paste it. That is you telling me where you got your information from. We're going to help you out with some places to start in a minute here, but I do want you to know how this template works. That center column, I want to see where you got your information from. You can have more than one source cited here. You just hit enter a couple times and you can paste as many as you need to there. And then over here, once I get this all out of my way.
And remember, you can have multiple ones. This is information that's going to help you for your business. So don't shortchange yourself. Like, put in the links so that you have it for later.
So this, link to course, link to application form, link to application form. These are different than your sources of information. This is actually going to take me, when I click on it, to an application for a seller's permit, or to a food handler's card class that I can take, or to a food manager certification class that I can take, or to the exact liquor license that you're looking into getting for your business, or just looking into getting if you're not going to have a liquor license. So these links are different. So just some things to think about there. And then with these answers, I am looking for a good amount of detail here, and make sure you're using full, complete sentences.
Yes, and also remember, with your liquor license, if you want to cook with alcohol, you have to get a liquor license. So for those who are thinking you're not going to serve alcohol, so you're not going to need a liquor license, if you're cooking with it, you need to have one. Yes, Gertrude, that is right. I love your expression on your face right now. Yes, so for those who wanted to do those banana Fosters or make a rum raisin pie, like bread pudding or whatever, you need a liquor license for that. Or whiskey chicken, anything. Or the beer can chicken. I love that beer can chicken, but you need a liquor license for that. And it's good to know this stuff now because this stuff costs money. So you want to know how much it's actually going to cost you because liquor licenses are expensive. If you see on there as you're looking it up and it says, oh, a liquor license, it's $18. That's not the right one. That would most likely be the license that you would need if you wanted to be a bartender. We're looking for the license that you actually need for your business. And that can range to thousands and thousands of dollars depending on where you live. So yes, Maurice, even if you're not going to sell liquor and you're going to cook with it, you need to have a license for it. So take that moment. Remember all of the recipes that you have in your head that you're thinking about doing or potentially could think of doing, and see about if you want to make that whiskey chicken or do that, red wine shallot reduction to go with your steak or any of that great stuff. But lucky for you, we have, because Chef Jonathan and I are awesome, we have these links for you. What? Awesome links that are going to be available on the main page in this slide. So ServSafe is one of those. Now your laws and regulations for food handlers it's going to be different in every single area that you're going to be at. For example, in Colorado, you don't have to have your food handlers, but at least one person has to have their ServSafe manager certification. Now that's going to be different than if you live in Boston, if you live in Nebraska. What is it now actually for Nebraska? I don't remember, Chef.
PIC, person in charge needs to have food managers.
Yes, and you need to know what it's going to be in your area. So we have ServSafe here and we have nationalfoodsafety.org, and these are two links that you can really be able to find that information and which will help you. And I highly suggest getting your manager's certification because then you can become an instructor and proctor like me and have a nice little side business of giving other people, giving other people their ServSafe testing and teaching them all about the awesomeness of ServSafe. Have a nice little side business. Boom, right? That's how I fed my family during my master's program because I could not cook anything with 2 jobs and a master's program going on. So I bartered my services for food at all the restaurants. And then we have one for liquor license here, which Chef Jonathan found. Am I right, Chef?
You are. One thing that I do want to mention while we're talking about liquor licenses, even if you are not going to need a liquor license, we still want you to do this. So whether or not you're going to need one, take a look, make sure you fill out that box. You'll lose some points if you just say, I'm not going to need one. Just want to make sure everybody knows that.
And I also want you to realize too that there is, click here for a list of different liquor licenses. There are different licenses for different types of alcohol. So if you just wanted to sell wine, there's that. If you want to sell wine and beer, if you want to do hard liquor, there are different licenses for the alcohol that you're going to be using, and each one costs a different amount. And that is taking forever to load for me right now. So I'm going to try. Illinois. Let's see if that'll load. Oh, that one loaded. Haha. So, and it shows you, and it will bring you to this form, and you just need to dig now. You need to dig and look and see which one is going to work for you. And look, it says forms. That's awesome. You're going to want to like click on that and look at all the different types of forms that there are that you could potentially use for your liquor license. What? And this is the type of form that Chef Jonathan's going to want to see on that page. Am I right, Chef?
You are. So those links that say on the right-hand side under fillable or printable, you're just going to right-click on that and select or do that and copy and paste the link straight to that form that you're going to need.
Yes. And see, this is that type of thing that you're going to want to fill out. So, and remember, whoop, you need to go down this page to find your state. Do not just use that. It'll range from 300 to 14,000. We don't want that range in here. We want to know how much it's actually going to cost you. So go down and look up what it's going to be for your area. Am I right, Jeff? Should we start filling? Should we check out this awesome form? This
Yeah. So here, why don't I do this?
Perfect.
So we're going to get our information from ServSafe. So
where are we going to do this? Where are you guys wanting to do this at? What location? Cleveland, Ohio. Samantha.
All right. That's going to be part of that 3-sentence concept summary at the top.
Let's do Cleves, not Cleveland.
Cleves.
Oh, Cleves.
It's a little bitty small town. That's where I'm from.
See, that's my bad. All right. So we're going to come over here to our slides and grab one of these two, either servsafe.com or National Food Safety. And if we take a look here, the questions that we need to answer for this one are, what is the difference between these two, food handler's card and food manager's certification? So best way to figure that out is if you come up here, you'll see there's some different classes. So if you go to food manager, you can find out some information here about what that food manager program is all about. You can find out all sorts of wonderful things here. And then ServSafe Food Handler right here. Click on that, and once again, learn more. And figure out what the difference is between the two. How to get it. There's going to be information on that if you click into compare formats or really that information is going to be in the body of the text here on how to get it. Just as a hint, you're going to take a class.
Also remember, this all has to be in your writing. Do not just copy and paste. You need to have it in your own words.
Please, please, please. I cannot give you points for other people's words. So please make sure to kind of think about what you read and then put your own words on this page. So this next question is where we get really specific about your area. Who in your concept needs the handler's card and who needs the certification? So as Chef Rachel and I were talking about earlier, in Colorado and in Nebraska, the person in charge, some manager on duty at all times, is going to need that certification. So I'm going to put at least one manager at all times needs certification. But I haven't addressed that food handler's card yet, right? So, Chef Rachel, did you say you didn't need a food handler's card in your area?
No, I do not.
That's it. So that directly answers that question. So you see how I didn't have to write a whole novel here, but I've got the detail necessary to answer that question. Does that make sense? Awesome.
And the best place to also find this is in your health department. So as Chef Jonathan was looking there, I was able to, can you see my, pull up Hamilton County Public Health Department. And I was able to find, and this is the health department for Cleves, Ohio, and was able to find what the food safety stuff is. So you just need to go through, and it has all sorts of great stuff for you. It has an overview, it talks about your inspections, it gives you all of this great information. It even talks about the Ohio smoking ban, which I did not know Ohio had a smoking ban. Certainly was not there when I was living there. And you can go through and it gives you all of that type of information that you're gonna need to know for working in Ohio in a food establishment, and also just for this assignment, right? So so for, what's the next one? Alcohol? Is it alcohol?
Liquor license.
Liquor license.
While Chef Rachel was talking, I pulled up that handy dandy link that's right here on this slide. I clicked on this and then I scrolled down to Ohio and I clicked on this handy doc, this link right here, and it breaks it down for me. It's got information on where to get applications, what different types of permits there are. So check out all these different types of permits. These are really important to know because right here, liquor license, I'm going to want to put which type of liquor license I need for this concept.
And then while, and as I showed you before, like look at all of the different, as I said before, how there's different amounts for different types of businesses, for different types of liquors. Look how it shows you all the different amounts it is.
Yep. So these temporary permits at the bottom are something you're probably going to want to focus on if you are a food truck or catering concept or private personal chef concept. This is where you're probably going to want to look because you're probably going to do an event at some point that's going to need you to get a temporary liquor license. It's very different. It's a lot less expensive because it's for a day as opposed to forever. So this is probably where you're going to want to look. In other places, you're going to want to look at restaurant. I will say this one is particularly well set up, but remember I had to click on the link on the slide and then click on the link here for this handy doc, and then I had to click this other link to find the type of permit. So you want to do a little bit of digging while you're looking around here. Sorry, Chef, I interrupted you.
No, you didn't. No, that was perfect. And I was honestly pulling up, as you talked about that, I wanted to pull up this. If you don't mind, I'm going to stop sharing yours. I wanted to pull up this website because this is what I was talking about before about being only like $7. This learn to serve. This is a bartender license. This isn't the same as your liquor license for your actual establishment for your business. This is just you can get for bartending. It's kind of like that TIPS certification that you can get, and it pretty much tells you when to know when people are drunk or not and when to stop serving them. Because that's important. It's important to know, especially because nowadays, I don't know if you guys noticed in the news that if a bartender overserves somebody, they can get put in jail. So this type of stuff is important to know, especially for as a bartender, but this is not what we're looking for this assignment. So, right, Chef? That's one that I definitely wanted to pull up.
Yes, thank you. Yeah, so.
And then while you were talking, I pulled up the labor law one. So, because remember on that your assignment page, there was stuff about your labor laws, your minimum wage. What is your hourly, like what are hourly rates versus for tipped employees versus non-tipped employees, all of that great information. And this was this link right here. And you can click wherever you are and it will take you to all of this information. So it tells you cash tips, minimum wage, it has all this great information that Chef Jonathan was able to find for you. Thanks, Chef Jonathan, you're awesome. Oh, hear that, Chef? You're just so awesome.
So let's take a look at this. Sorry, Kevin, did you have some?
Kevin said, you're so awesome.
Awesome.
Thank you. So for the assignment, you're going to need that regular minimum wage, the tipped employee minimum wage, which some places is different, some places it's not. Really important. And you're going to look at overtime laws for that labor stuff. How many hours in a day and how many hours in a week before you hit overtime. So if you just put, let's do it this way. What do you think I'm going to say to that answer?
A week.
Yep, 40 a week. And then what else am I going to say?
10 a day.
There we go. You didn't address that daily limit for your area. So make sure you address both of those aspects of that question. So the next one that we're going to look at is fire
Is it
inspection.
10 a day on overtime?
Well,
I mean, I'm in Florida right now. I haven't looked at the labor laws yet.
yeah, so that actually varies state to state in terms of a daily limit on overtime. Some places you can work 16 hours in a single day and not get any overtime.
I was gonna say every place I've worked, it's as long as you don't hit 40 that week.
Yeah, and other areas of the country have as low as 8-hour shifts in a day. Anything over 8 hours, and you have to pay overtime. So it's really important to know that about your area and do your research.
Want to tell me where that is so I can move there?
Well, and it also depends too if you're an exempt employee also. So if you're like working for a hospital, like if you're working in a hospital, you can be considered an exempt employee, and then that means that you, like, the overtime laws do not matter to you. So that's something to always consider also. So like if I wanted to work in Antarctica, like if I wanted to work in Antarctica and I'm getting paid a salary, they're not going to care about my overtime because I'm in Antarctica and there's nowhere to go.
Yeah,
and you can work in Antarctica if you want to. I was going to be a baker there, but unfortunately I got sick with my ulcerative colitis and they don't want so, but that's something good to know, especially if you're like, oh, look, I'm going to move to this area and they're going to pay me this much. Really figure out how much it's going to cost you. That's really going to be of importance for you. And you should know this stuff too, because I have definitely known people who are business owners who did that whole, hey, I didn't know I still had to pay you to do that delivery even though you're on your way home, because you're just driving home. It's on your way. I shouldn't have to pay you for that, just to drop off that delivery, for that catering, because that has definitely happened to me. Yes. Yes. Would you guys be upset if you did not get paid for doing an extra catering delivery on the way home? It was just on the way home.
We're gonna fight about it.
Yeah. Right? So that's where it's really important for you to know, just in general, like, what are your laws? What is OSHA going to say about it for your establishment and where you work? So really make certain that you are on top of it, because, you know, I don't trust people with my paycheck. Am I right, Chef Jonathan?
Definitely. The labor laws are also particularly important because by getting this information this week, your week 3 assignment will be easier. Just a little preview of things to come. So the next one we're going to talk about is these fire inspections. So we're looking for a few specific things. 3 things that fire inspector is going to review during that inspection. Who performs that inspection, and the phone number or email address for that local contact. If your local fire department has an online application to get that inspection done, I can take a link there to that application, but a lot of places want you to call or email to set this up. So that's why it changes a little bit for this one. But once again, on that handy slide here, if you click on this link, it'll bring you here, which gives you all sorts of wonderful information about fire inspections in general. However, what this will not give you is your specific area. So you're going to have to do a little bit of research and find fire inspections for your area. Go ahead, Chef.
Yeah, I also want to point out that I just Googled fire inspections for my area, and it came up with this. This is not the fire department. This is a company that will come in and make sure that everything is in place before the fire department shows up to do their inspection. Chef Jonathan wants the actual fire department information, not this people, because it's like, oh, look, they have fire inspections, but no, they just come in and make sure that everything is set up. This is not the same thing.
And the number is not 911, right?
Right. It is not 911. So remember that when you're looking at these things, because you can Google it and it'll take you to something that looks really fancy and pretty, but that is not your fire department. That is just a company that specializes in it. So get the fire department information. Am I right, Chef?
You are, for sure. Which brings us to our very last regulation.
Seller's permit.
The seller's permit. This link Chef Rachel found, and it is fantastic. This text jar right at the bottom here. So if you go here, it's going to give you some general information right at the top here. But then you can click on your state. So we're talking about Ohio. So if you click on, oops, I messed that up somehow. That is impressive.
Like, wow. But while you do that, I can pull up this, because another one that I want to point out, because this is really important. You guys need to save your money. You're trying to open up a business. You have to save your money when you can. And if you guys see here, I have Seller's Permit Ohio, and you're like, oh, cool, look at all this stuff. That tax jar blog is right here. You can always click on that. But one that I specifically want to point out is this right here, this Ohio Seller's Permit. This website in blue. This is a company that will charge you money to do something that you can potentially do for free. Because in a good chunk of states, getting a seller's permit can be free, or like $10 or $30. But this one will charge you money to do it for you. So if you see the blue, do not use, because they're going to charge you something that you can do on your own for free. And if we go to the good old Ohio tax blarb, that you can use that link that we have in the slide for you, or you can use it right here. It's great, and I love this website because they really break it down for you, and they always update it. So if there's a new like form, new information, they may have written it, but then they always update it to really make certain that it's the correct information for you. And they do a great job of breaking it down. They tell you who needs it, how much money it's going to cost you. So it shows you it's gonna be $25, and then it will say like how long it takes. It will give you the form. It tells you which form you need to do and breaks it down really nicely for you. So use the tax jar because it's a great, great tool. So like say, for example, where is somebody else living? Say a different area, location. Anybody? Where are you at? I'm not in the chat. Where's the chat? Kevin, where are you at?
I'm right here.
You're Florida, right?
Yes, ma'am. I'm in Gainesville, Florida.
Florida, seller's permit, Florida.
Go
So
back.
then you can go right here to the tax jar.
Okay.
It gives you all the information, who needs this, what it's all about. And then look at that. You can, boom, it gives you your application. Copy, paste that. Put
So
that in your
business tax application. So basically, if I'm gonna own a business, I gotta pay taxes on it. That's what this is for.
Yep, this is all, seller's permit is all about taxes, right?
Okay.
And so, and this gives you that form. That's why I really like this website, because it'll give
If I'm
you,
looking for permits of location, like to be able to put my food truck somewhere, could I look at that same place?
you know, I would say at that point, you're gonna have to actually go to your,
Courthouse or
your government website, because it'll be different in different places. And remember, for food trucks, like I have a friend who has a food truck and she parks at the brewery. And so every time she's at that brewery, they actually pay her to be there on certain days each month. So she gets, God, I think it's like $3,000 a month to show up at that brewery every like Tuesday and Wednesday. And that way they have that, people have that option. And so there are some actual establishments that you can go out, get to know your community, and you can do something like that. So you don't even have to worry about being in certain areas.
yeah. In my area, we have like 3 main breweries that are actually really big, and they sell globally. Like not globally, but countrywide. Like from here to at least California, they sell our beer from Gainesville. So we do have a lot of breweries that do have food trucks that come on a calendar day. So it's like that's kind of what I'm shooting for and where I'm at.
Yeah, and that's where it's really good to like know those areas. And also, especially with food trucks, there are certain towns that do not allow food trucks. Steamboat Springs, because I was like, oh, cool. I totally wanted to do, like if I was going to live in Steamboat Springs, because it's a super ski town, I was like, I need to have like a hot chocolate cart. And I'm just going to park it right in front of the ski slope. And like as people go down, they can just get hot chocolate and cookies for me. But they don't allow food trucks in that town.
That's a smashing idea, though.
I know, right? I was like, I'm going to do gourmet hot chocolate. It's going to be awesome.
Mexican hot chocolate. All right.
Yeah, but I can't do it in Steamboat. They don't like food trucks. So that's where it's really good to know now these type of things so that you know where to go and where to stay away from for your business, whether it's catering, a bar, coffee shop, restaurant, food truck, whatever you want it to be. Now, does anybody have any questions about the assignment? We just walked through it all. I'm going to put the slides up onto the main page underneath the live session discussion. Use the links that Chef Jonathan and I found. Most of those links were Chef Jonathan. Got to give props. Remember, we talk about like, giving props to people, citing your references.
You're awesome, Chef Jonathan.
Nice, Kevin, nice. So, And then just remember, copy and paste those links, put it in your own words, due on Tuesday at 11:59 p.m., but why not get started now, right? Samantha, you just did part of yours. We did some, Samantha, so I expect you to have yours done early.
I have a question about the summary. Like, you said you wanted a summary basically of the food, like the food concept that we have going on.
Yep.
The same exact one that we did for the last class, right?
The one that you
Do you want me to do it sentence by sentence? Because I totally just threw my whole entire summary back onto your thing. Like, I just copy pasted and threw it back on there and gave you the
I'm
link.
gonna let Chef Jonathan say.
I'm really looking for 1 to 3 sentences specifically talking about the information that we asked you to write about on that week 1 assignment. Okay. And we're looking for it to be concise so that when you're presenting it to a potential investor, for instance, they have that quick reference on what this business is. You want a ton of detail when you're proposing these types of things, but you want to know where to put that detail. A big, long, page-long concept summary is fantastic. As the concept summary, but then when you're just looking for that quick reminder, hey, this is what I'm doing. I'm in Cleves, Ohio. I'm doing a food truck. I'm going to be open Monday through Friday, 10 a.m. to 7 p.m. My food truck's name is Hell on Wheels.
Basically, make cliff notes for that week and what session we're talking about. Small cliff note sentences. Gotcha.
Yeah. Yep. And check out that week 1 assignment, because on that second page, you will see exactly what information we're looking for in those concept summaries throughout this course.
Yes, it's that one, the exact one that was on the page 2, right before that SWOT analysis. And we wanted location, the style of service you're doing, hours of operation, name of your establishment, all of that stuff. So put that, remember, we wanted you to do it, get it down for week 1, so you can use it for week 2, week 3, all throughout the weeks. So, and does anybody else have any questions? Remember, if you did not do your week 1 assignment, get it done now. Get those late it'll be late, but better late than never. So get those in. Remember to you have that shot. If you have submitted already, you can resubmit up until next Tuesday to get that 100. And you guys should be good to go. Any other questions? You guys got this? We just went over the whole assignment. It's going to be awesome.
Can you resubmit?
Yeah, you can resubmit.
Oh.
Go for that 100.
That would be awesome.
Yeah, go for the 100. You can resubmit for all of your classes.
Oh.
Yes,
okay.
Every one of your classes you can resubmit. So remember that.
Okay.
All right, guys. Well, I hope. Yeah, I hope everybody has a fabulous week. Enjoy looking up all the different research materials. Yes, Chef Jonathan?
Just keep in mind, even though Monday is a holiday, the deadline does not change. Tuesday night at 11:59 p.m. is the deadline still.
Now remember, you're in an industry where everybody else is partying, we're working. That's how that works.
Yeah, it's something. Oh my gosh, can't even enjoy myself.
It's not that bad though. You get used to it. You get to enjoy spending time with people on the holidays and getting to share in their experiences and making memories with them. So
You've got no Sunday, you've got no holiday. That's the busiest time of. It's crazy. You've got no church. Nothing.
Money maker, holidays, Valentine's Day. I'm like, I don't need a date for Valentine's Day. I'm booked. I'm busy making money.
That's when you say the clients, if they want so bad, they'll wait for you any day.
Yeah. So it's all good. I told my husband, I'm like, we have love. It's all that good. We don't need a date night.
My other chef said, when I asked him, I said, how does it feel to be a chef? He says, guests should If you had asked me before you got into the program, I would say, don't do it. Because you won't have a life at all. I was like, what do you mean? He's like, you got no holiday, you got nothing. Because that's when it's making money time.
Yeah. Well, remember, you gotta love it. I absolutely loved it. Every single time, I was definitely one where I'm like, oh my God, Alex is coming into town for the weekend. I have to totally stay and say hi to him and see how he's doing, because I'd be super excited to see all my guests, because it was like seeing family, like extended family, and they would come once a year or a couple of times a year. And I even had some people who stayed for like 2 years straight, because they were consultants, and it was great. It's getting to know a bunch of really cool people and being able to share with them and make those memories based around food. And those are my favorite kind of memories. So that's why I love this. And that's why you don't get a holiday off here. If you plan accordingly, you can totally have that day off, but you have to plan accordingly and get your assignment done early so that you have that ability to enjoy the weekend. But you guys are going to be all set, because you're going to watch the live session archive while you do your assignment, and you're going to be good to go. If you have questions, please reach out. But I hope everybody has a fabulous week. Have a great Memorial weekend, and I will see everybody next week. Am I right, Chef Jonathan?
Yeah, have a great weekend. Can't wait to see your assignments.
Okay. Bye, everybody. Have a great week.
Good night.